Welcome to GoonerPavilion. It's Arsenal 3, Brentford 1, and what a game today at the GTEC Stadium. And listen, guys, this one was a nervous one, because everyone was building up Brentford, as if they were Barcelona. And, certainly, I think the one thing that I've learned about this game is that you just have to ignore the narratives that are being generated by the press because I think they're doing their best to put a lot of pressure on Arsenal, but Arsenal played this game as if there were no pressure at all. Look at the starting lineup. Let's start from there. No Havertz in the starting lineup, no Declan Rice in the starting lineup. And then you go with a 17-year-old Ethan Nwaneri. And I think for me, these two youngsters, Nwaneri and Miles Kelly, are absolutely the high point of the 2024 for me for Arsenal. I think Nwaneri did very, very well today. I was really impressed. I was a little bit nervous, seeing whether he will be able to do that job on the right. And I think he did a good job, partially because I also think that Brentford underestimated his capabilities. They were like, yeah, okay, he's a 17-year-old. We might not, put in as much tackles as they do with Saka. Because, when Saka is on the board, they're kicking him, they're nudging him, they're doing all kinds of things to get him off his pace. A few times I saw, three players, sort of surround Nwaneri, but I thought he did very well. There was a ball that he got at the sidelines, jinked his way into the middle. Should have passed that ball one time to Ødegaard, but I think he was trying to be a little bit clever, and then got taken over him. But gladly, nothing came over that. But those are the things that mistakes that you learn from, right? The mistakes that don't have any big consequences, for the team. So guys, what do you guys think about this? Arsenal needed to win this game. There were no questions about it. We just need to put a run of games over. And now we head to Brighton. Brighton on the 4th of January, so that would be, ahead of Liverpool, who I believe are playing on the 5th. I know that game, they're probably going to win their game, considering the last scoreline. But all Arsenal can do is keep the pressure. That's all they can do. Keep the pressure, on Liverpool, and let's just see if they blink. Let's just see if they blink. I mean, this is what other teams used to do to us. Man City used to do to us. Arsenal will be cruising 5 points, 9 points. People will be like, it's not over. It's not over. And it really frustrates me, right? Because everyone is saying that Liverpool is over. It's over. They are 9 points ahead. It's over. They have not had their wobble yet. And it's impossible to go through the whole season and not have a wobble. I just don't believe it's possible. I think it's coming. I think it's coming. And the only thing that, can save them is the fact that they've got a bit of a cushion, right? So they probably need to lose 2 games, and then it would really, really have the pressure on, because that'll be 6 points, and then there'll only be 3 points, ahead if Arsenal continue to win their game. And then you know what? Going to the Anfield, we make sure that we do not lose in that game, and I think that's what Arsenal is going to need, to keep going forward. But a really professional performance from Arsenal today. I do want to commend Jesus because he just kept going. I like the resilience. I like the tenacity. It seemed like he didn't score a goal against Ipswich, and everyone was already beginning to say, well, has that dried up very, very quickly? But to come away from home, which he doesn't typically score goals away from home, scored a goal that puts Arsenal level. And then it was all about being professional. Set piece goals, Arsenal always needs one, always gets one, more often than not. I think they get a set piece goal one every other game, which is just ridiculous, incredible. They've scored, 11 goals now in set pieces, and we're just, 18, games into the season. So I think that's remarkable. I think it's sustainable. And, I always used to have this debate, about what should Arsenal do in the transfer window? What should we do in terms of getting extra players? We definitely need extra players. I'm not going to say that Nwaneri performance, Nwaneri's performance today means that Arsenal does not need another player to come in. We definitely do. But I'm not gonna go and spend silly money on a striker. I would not. And listen, it's lazy. It's a bit lazy of an argument. People always talking about Arsenal, needing a striker. The reality for me is that you need to have your goals spread out, across. People are still looking, at the Premier League back in the day where you needed a 20-goal striker, 30-goal striker. Go ask Harry Kane how many times he won the Golden Boot and what did that do for a team like Spurs, right? Nothing, right? Look at Watkins last season, right? He scored so many goals, but at the end of the day, he's having a dip. You look at, right now, Isak had a little bit of a dip earlier on. Okay, he was a bit injured, but now he seems to be scoring goals. But guaranteed he's gonna have a dip. And the thing with depending on one striker right now is because teams are so competitive in the Premier League right now. Honestly, everybody's talented. The Premier League is beginning to remind me, of the NFL. It's so hard to make it to an NFL roster. But once you do that, this is American football. Once you do that, everyone is talented. You now have those little things that just separate the good player from the great player. And sometimes that's a good system, a good team, a good coach, you know, a good run of games. A lot of things goes into the Premier League games. And sometimes that makes a difference. A Brentford can easily beat Liverpool. A Brentford can beat Chelsea. A Brentford can beat Man City. A Brentford could beat Arsenal. That's just how the margins of errors are. I mean, look at we lost to Bournemouth the other day. No one's going to be saying that they're going to go for Champions League, but they are capable of taking points off teams, and this is why everybody loves the Premier League. So I just think that when it comes to depending on one player alone for the goals. And I think, in a way, this Saka injury is an opportunity for Arsenal to rediscover themselves. Something to shock the system a little bit and not get them in cruise mode because we definitely need that to find different ways to win. And honestly, I love the game today. I love the performance. I thought the boys did very well. Congratulations also to Merino, who he got the second goal, and Martinelli. Martinelli, we need more from you. We definitely need more from you. On that left hand side, he was back on the left hand side, and it almost felt like he needed to take that goal the way that he did. Listen, Mikel Arteta did very well in this game, tweaked a couple of things, when we were one goal down. I mean, that goal that we conceded, against Brentford, Bournemouth again scoring very, very clinical, Bournemouth. I know that Thomas Frank is saying that, potentially he's not going to leave the club, but hey, I think he's doing that to drive the price upwards. And if someone really comes and put in a bid, are you telling me that you're gonna reject a bid for 40 million on Buemo? I don't think that's smart. Look at Ivan Tony. They were being arrogant about team by and Ivan Tony. And then what did he do? He went off to, Dubai or Saudi, for about 40 million thereabout. And there were teams that were potentially looking to, pay a little bit more for him. So Brentford, you can't be too arrogant if the money comes. You need to take it, right? Now, I'm not saying that Arsenal is going to go buy him, but I'm just referring to what Thomas Frank was saying, that good luck to the team that comes to look from Bournemouth. I mean, Brentford did well, made a good performance, but hey, all that counts is Arsenal won the game. First game of the 2025 calendar year, and another London derby that Arsenal have won. They've not lost the London derby since I think 2023 against Fulham. So definitely things to be positive about. So Gunners, be encouraged. We can go on a run right now. Next game is Brighton, and then we've got some really tough cup games with Newcastle and Manchester United. But guess what? They're all at home, so we can definitely do that. Whatever you do on your way out, if you love this conversation today, hit that like button. Really, really appreciate you guys. and hit the subscribe button as well. Put in the comments, let me know what you think about the result today. Does this give us the momentum to go ahead now and get on a run of games? Until the next one, guys, take care of yourself and come on, you Gunners.